If you notice, in the ocean, ships disappear. Not because the water is broken, because navigation fails and the instrument does not sync well. And that's where the ship is lost in the sea. But this is not how it works, isn't it? Or there is something more to this. It's not just about the ship today, but we're talking about the real brain that actually acts as a Bermuda Triangle. Yes. In a similar fashion, the brain works according to the memory that we have inside our brain. But did you know that the brain does not store memories? That's crazy, isn't it? The brain does not store memories. It actually works like timing. What does that mean is where you are right now, it's going to change the way you think. Just imagine you're gone to a place where you'll find good scenic sights, good food to eat. You're enjoying with your family. But that's just for that moment where the timing was perfect. You picked it up, everything. And it's inside your brain. That's it. But the reality is, what if I told you that those memories are missing inside your brain? Even if you try to recall certain things and certain behaviors of the past, it's going to get really difficult. How is that? I'll give an example of mine. Let's say I'd gone to a place, and many times it has happened to me. It must have happened to you as well. That I've been to a place, I come back, and after a couple of months or maybe 6 months later, something that has come up, and the brain signals me and tells me, you were there. But not exactly the brain remembers what exactly happened at that moment. Why this has happened? Because the timing was not right. The timing failed miserably. And that timing is inside our brain. That's the wiring that's not happening correctly. And this is where the functionality makes a huge difference. What is that? The timing. 6 months earlier, I was there. Correct? Now that I'm remembering it, the memory is lost. It doesn't seem to be there. Why this is happening? Because the brain cannot connect to that moment where I was there, and seems to be disconnected because the timing is gone. If I say that in December 2025, I was at this place, fair enough. But I will lose that connection, and then I'll try to recall what exactly happened. But it doesn't come so easy to the brain because the timing is not there. There's a disconnection that has happened. And that disconnection is lack of interaction with the environment. This is where the brain gets nasty. It's the Bermuda Triangle that's losing the connection. It is there in your memory function, but it's not up to the mark. And this is why you're losing it. So what happens if we apply this Bermuda Triangle to our daily lives? I'll give you good examples of life that's going to make you realize how the brain connectivity is controlling our brains. So the first example that I'd like to give in is of pandemic, the recent years in 2020. That was a crazy havoc, isn't it? How many of you were actually infected by COVID-19? Think about it. And if you were, give the comment below. What happened after that was people who were infected by COVID-19, they were having fatigue and brain fog. These two conditions play like a Bermuda Triangle inside your brain. It completely disrupts the memory functions, especially when you did something 20 or 30 minutes ago. You might just forget about it. What the hell I did? I don't remember it. Or maybe 2 days ago. It might be difficult for you to remember. Why? Because the memory function is weakened because of fatigue and brain fog. And that happened because of the COVID-19. The second is the exam fever that I talk about many times. Students who go for examinations, how many times have you noticed as a parent or as a student, you go for exams, you sit, you have the paper in your hand, and boom, all gone. Where did it go? You studied all night. And all that messages, all that information inside your brain collectively, it's all gone. Now here's what's happening inside the brain. Stressors of examination, which is a stress hormone, it's actually releasing too much in the brain. And that is the Bermuda Triangle for those people. When there's stress, boom, the brain does not understand what is happening. It's lost the connectivity, and the brain does not know what to do. This is because stress is too much. Another example, if I say, how many times this must have happened to people, if I say that you walk around, if I say, watch the bushes, there are rats, you might not enjoy that moment because the brain has captured something that is rats. So what happened? The connectivity loses something extraordinary that has happened inside the brain, and that is the rats, which is causing a connectivity issue inside the brain, and memory does not work well. These are some examples. Even alcohol. When people drink a lot of alcohol, many must have noticed when they're really high and wake up the next day, I can't remember anything. Blackouts. That's because Bermuda Triangle is active. That's because when you wake up in the morning and you just think about it, and the brain says, I can't remember anything. That's because of the Bermuda Triangle that's activated inside the brain. This is the fact of the brain, where something goes in, it can disturb your life miserably. So what are the other factors that can cause these problems? Those missing moments, they don't recall easily due to certain factors, stress, and then there is inflammation in the body, chronic memory lapses, and cognitive dysfunctions. These are some of those conditions where the memory does not retrieve well. So what you need to do is, you need to be in that moment. How? Imagine when the ship has the navigation. They reach the right direction with the help of the navigation. If the navigation is broken, the ship cannot reach to its destination. This is what I'm talking about. If the timing is right, imagine if you say that I've gone to this place and eaten, but I don't remember how the taste was. And when you go there and you eat that food, and then you say, yes, I remember the taste now, how it tastes. That's because the timing was right. You were there at that moment, you ate the same food, and the memory was recalled, which is why you should learn to adapt a scientific way that learning should be done with the perfect timing and not because of certain stresses. You should always de-stress yourself if you're learning something. If you're out there some places, you should be in the full moment, not making stresses out of the situations that can cause hindrance to your memory functions. It is also a good practice to improve your memory functions when you're de-stressed, when your timing is right, and you do the right time. And when you behave in that moment, with that particular time, the memory works fine. Imagine that if you don't do this, what's going to happen to the brain? You're eventually making a big mistake to your memory function. What is that? You might not able to have a good memory function if you don't do enough with the moment while enjoying the moment, making the good out of it, getting that benefit. And there's also a third factor that I like to talk about is vitamin deficiencies also make memory weak. So do check up with your memory with vitamins and vitamin B as well, because these are major ones. The B12, the B, vitamin B, they're good for the totality of your health, your body function. So if you're functioning well, your memory will function well, and you'll have no problems with your memory. So does the brain has a Bermuda Triangle effect? Yes, it does. Only when you have stress or you have a neurological deficits or it doesn't fit in the arc of memory functions, especially when too much of hormones is released in the brain and in the body. So your brain health is in your hand. If you take care of it, it will definitely take care of you. I'll see you next time on a new video. Thank you.